So what's up, guys? This is my freezer cabinet plant shelf part 2. Looking at relocating the lights to the back to offer more of a backlighting effect. And I want to move some of the large gallon jars up front to get more visibility on them. We're going to work on that now. And then we're going to feed everything with some nice cucumber slices that we have right here, ready to go. The new alligator weed plant, suspected alligator weed, still not really identified. It's growing very quickly. It's growing very tall, and I haven't done anything with it. We talked about the Walstad tank that it's in last time. And the original cutting I took was right about here. And then you can see all this new growth that's happened since it's been transplanted. Very rapid growth rate. I'm pretty sure that it is alligator weed, judging by the leaf structure, and the way it grows, and how it behaves. But this is a plant that appeared in outdoor setups nearby. I did not intentionally purchase this or find it like on purpose. It came to me and started growing really well in the way that I do things. And I researched it since then. I've seen forum posts, people talking about using this in aquariums and doing different things with it. They say it just makes a mad rush for the surface of the water, and then it probably grows something like this. And it plays host to some strange creatures down there.
Yep. As expected, this is a massive tubiflex worm colony, and the mites, or maybe even ostracods, I can't quite tell without the macro lens, but they are on top of it. So yeah, it's a cluster of tubiflex worms, which are like a colony, and these mites are either eating them or like cleaning them or doing something up here to the ones that are exposed to the surface. I've had tubiflex worms one other time, and I didn't see them again. It was a very small colony, and that was a long time ago. But it looks like some have made it into here, and they have been stimulated by the overfeeding. I am so happy. You can also see a ton of my detritus worms over there doing their detritus worm stuff. So yeah, as you can see, that's definitely a tubiflex worm colony, and I am overjoyed. I haven't had too much luck with them in the past, or at least I haven't seen them much, but I combined several of my existing jar aquariums, and they are very well developed, and intentionally cross-contaminated them with pond samples and other things. There are also other solitary worms which are cruising around doing stuff. The cucumber, when I first glanced at this, I assumed it was, like some kind of wilting effect on this cucumber that was exposed to the surface. But no, this is actually being feasted upon by several dozen long worms. We still get to see the worms up close. And the ostracods. There are a lot of ostracods on here with them, right alongside them. That's pretty cool. Fairly large, healthy bladder snail over here, doing what they do, swimming upside down in the water. There's a thick protein layer on the surface from the overfeeding. I gave them way too much food on purpose, and it's created a protein film on the layer of the water, on the surface layer. But as a result, the snails are able to surf on this layer. I'm just overjoyed, guys. This is a crazy aquarium that we've built. So I'm not sure what you'd call it. For now, we're going to call it a pond container? Pond container. There we go. Pond container Walstad style. You may or may not know this, but I've recently been working on culturing some larger worms. I love my detritus worms. So it looks like the mission was a success. We have cultured some new, larger worms, and some very different worms that form a colony. If that's solid worms, I mean, I'm pretty sure that's tubiflex. And you can see my detritus worms are like coming from all directions towards this stuff, which is ominous and strange. There's also some kind of small piece of fuzz attached to the alligator weed plant. There we go. So once again, oh, there they go. Once again, we have succeeded in culturing new species right here indoors in an awesome little setup. I'm going to close this again, just so they get back to that hot, humid environment that they're used to. I see a number of the worms withdrawing to go beneath the water, so let's go ahead and return them to the conditions in which they were flourishing. Extremely excited for this new project within my freezer cabinet setup here, and it's just amazing. I had no idea that there would be so many new species in here. There's at least a few new things to us, and possibly a lot more to come. New things to discover. I'm seeing a lot of movement and action in this tank. For plants to grow on both levels, here and up here. As time goes on, depending on the success of the alligator weed, I may make cuttings from this very plant and place them into the jar containers in the background and have a whole wave of alligator weed. So far it's doing really great. It's doing better than the Dayflower, and that's my plan. Now, you know, in those previous shots I had a lot more Dayflower in here. I produced several containers like this. Trimming those plants actually generated a ton of cuttings. There is some wilting and stuff, but I have a plan for these, a place to put them, and we'll worry about that later on. I'll be in shock for a little while, but they'll recover, and we'll have a whole bunch more stuff growing in here. I kind of wanted to start fresh in the new tank here, the new plant shelf, and that way when I show you episode 3 and it's chock full of plants again, you'll know more what I'm talking about. Look at that alligator weed. I know this seems strange to be so obsessed with this one plant, but I'm very impressed with its growth rate. It's beautiful. It's got a red, green, brown, orange vibe going on. It's different than other plants I've worked with. And yes, it is often referred to as an invasive plant. It's incredibly powerful and spreads all over. But okay, it's an invasive plant, blah, blah, blah. I have it contained within a pharmaceutical grade freezer cabinet. And I don't see how anybody can complain about me having this and experimenting on it in this way. So once again, guys, I'm Bucket Ponds. We've recently fed everything. You can see some cucumber in there. That's all I do with these tanks. I add some water when needed. I feed them some cucumbers here and there. And I breed up armies of worms and snails and grow tons of plants and do all kinds of fun stuff. Freezer cabinet that was going to be scrapped, thrown away and cut up for scrap metal. Instead, it's an awesome plant refrigerator, hot, humid container for tropical, subtropical swamp plants. I even have some wandering Jew in there. It's not doing too well, but I'm hoping that it'll take now. And if you see any brown stuff in there, that's actually wilted leaves that I collected from the duckweed, or from the Dayflower, excuse me. And I throw it right here into this container. Snails eat it up, kind of like an aquatic compost bin, like we talked about before. But yeah, don't worry about that. That's basically snail and worm food right there. So anyway, guys, I'm Bucket Ponds. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Thinking about getting some Bucket Ponds t-shirts made up soon, so that's a plus. Those are my big 3 sealed projects, sealed ecospheres, and I think they look great right here on this plant shelf. This is the pond ecosphere. You can see a little snail right there and some ostracods. This is the one that was on the lower left of the shelf down here, and it's doing really well. And I'm sure that this new setup will help things flourish inside. It's got a nice steady source of light now, heat, and it's protected. You know, there won't be any winter or any seasonal changes, but that's okay. I don't necessarily want seasonal changes in an ecosphere. So this sort of setup, nice climate controlled, I think it'll work well. And as you can see, the ecosphere is still alive. This is the New Year's Eve ecosphere, the 2-gallon one. It was in the middle in the previous shot. You can see right there, a nice bladder snail just cruising by. This tank has a lot of tannins in the water because I did include a large piece of driftwood. But ultimately, I think it was a success, and the snail seems to agree As long as there's one or two in there, there's probably way more than you can see. They will bury themselves in the substrate when they're little, and yeah, they're a lot of fun. But yes, this is another sealed aquarium, completely cut off from the outside world, growing in its own atmosphere, its own water, filtering its own air and water. It's very interesting, to me anyway. So once again, my name is Bucket Ponds. To the like 30 people that watch every one of my videos, you guys are awesome. Bonus points for you guys. Yeah, I don't know what to say, thank you. And to everybody else, please be like them. Go check out more stuff. If you don't like one video, you might like some of my other things I produced and some of the plants plus music videos and things like that. So thanks.